So I think we got to start with fathers of how do we look through history and see what different cultures did as a rite of passage. Now, I'm not saying we have to take what it is that they did, but if you look in medieval times, to be a knight, you went through a stage when you were about 7 or 8 and you were called a page. And as being a page, you had to learn like proper etiquette. You had to learn like horsemanship and basic combat. And then maybe 7 years, 8 years later, they were squires. So they were serving a knight. So they were being discipled. They were learning how to use weapons and like engaging in like battle. And then they would graduate to knighthood. There was a ceremony. Your family would come and watch, and you were like swearing under oath, an oath of chivalry. We don't even practice chivalry anymore. And if you were a dishonest knight, it was considered treason. So, and then you even have like the Spartans with the agoge. You take these boys away from their mothers and you put them with a bunch of other boys who are discipled by men, and they're working on different combat, going through struggles. Again, in America, we don't ever want to see our children struggle. But when we allow them to struggle, they build resilience. Again, with a agoge, they have to go through hardships. They test their endurance. They practice fasting. They do different combat. And then they have to eventually, when they graduate out of the agoge, they have to go fight somebody to the death, and then they come back. Not saying that that's what we need to do culturally, but if you look at like the samurais, the Mongols, Native Americans, they all had rites of passage. Even I think it's like there's still cultures in Africa today who do these rites of passages for boys. So if we're not actively thinking of how do we create these step-by-step graduation processes, like you said, we just want their mothers to raise them culturally, is what we're doing, until the day they're 18, dads give them a fist bump, and they either get sent off to college to continue their growth around 18 to 22-year-olds who have the mental capacity of 10-year-old boys still, but pumped full of testosterone. So then that's where they're getting their life view on, and the only thing they can think of is like instant gratification. And we just expect them to be men. So it really starts with the fathers of what it is that we're doing for our sons. And then also for our daughters, because we have to be the representation of what it is that they look for.